Hey guys, Beanie the Noob here and welcome to a quick deck guide. This one's going to be for the new leader Queen Meve. This, like most Northern Realms decks, is an engines deck. Let's go through the card selections. Draug is the most expensive card in the deck and for good reason. This card synergizes especially well with Sabrina Glevisig. You play him late into the round and on the following turn you play Sabrina, getting guaranteed value for at least one of your revenants, usually much more. Geralt's Professional is consistent removal. At the very least, you're going to get 3 or 4 value out of him consistently, and against monster decks or buff decks, he's going to win you rounds single-handedly. Yennefer Conjurer synergizes with the other damage cards in this deck. You'll want to get a few enemies to the same power to get the most of Yennefer, as she will hit all enemies with the highest power by 1 each turn. Selkirk of Gwent is more removal for annoying Thrive units or engines. He also works well as a larger removal if you're able to buff him and protect him enough. Vandergrift's Blades buffs any soldiers you play in its row by 2 and can swing tempo your way. Remember to play this in the melee row, we'll get to why in a bit. Botchling is a fantastic card. Play him wherever you want, whenever you want, and you're almost always guaranteed to get some value out of him. If you're trying to build your engines, transform into Lubberkin, otherwise just let him ping enemies by 1 each turn. Vandergrift works well with his blade, but even without, gets a 1 damage ping each turn. He can help set up a big Sabrina turn or a Reverend turn, or worst case, your opponent has to use significant removal on him. Avlak is in this deck to protect other units, such as Yennefer, Botchling or Visogotha of Corvo. It's also fine using him as bait, as your opponent will need to use substantial removal to get rid of him. Visogotha of Corvo is an incredible card. He buffs a unit by 1 and gains a charge anytime a unit is played by either player, which means most of the time when it's your turn, you have at least 2 charges with him. The longer he's kept alive, the stronger your side of the board will be. This is a priority Avlak target. Anna Stranger is pure value. You buff her, she buffs to adjacent units, opponents start to figure out ways to limit her while you just keep building the rest of your board. Elzur's Thunder here is pure removal. If you can think of something better to put in, by all means. Blue Stripes Commando is in this deck for his synergy with Blue Stripes Scout. You typically want to mulligan for both if possible, and because Scout has to be deployed on the melee row, this is why Vandergrift's Blade should be played in melee. Kate Vanney Sergeant, I've only included 1, but you can put in 2 if you find the need. A simple boost card that synergizes with the entire deck. Kate Vanney Revenant, always valuable either as synergy with the blade or to ping off 1 power enemies and make babies. Lyrian Arbalest is able to combo with Sabrina or assist the Revenants. It's also just a really good card to protect, as it gains a charge every time you play a card with Order, which is almost every turn in this deck. Trident Infantry is filler, works well with all boosts in the deck, and sometimes with a few lucky shots can help synergize with Revenant. Now, a card that I missed out that is incredibly powerful is Wes. Wes damages an enemy for 4 and then can grant one of your order units Zeal. This is incredibly useful, whether you're trying to buff a unit in the next turn, whether you want to use Yennefer, whether you want to use a Revenant, whatever it may be, Wes is extremely useful in this deck. Finally, Lyrian Cavalry. An amazing card that if you protect it, it'll grant you endless value till the round ends. Can be very powerful, and your opponents usually have to use significant removal on him. A general idea of how to play this deck: always try to maximize your tempo with your engines, make sure to buff taking into account enemies' possible removal options, as well as play your units in the right row. Melee should be prioritized, as even when you play Draug, you'll want your Revenants to be able to hit the ranged row of your opponent. There isn't necessarily a win condition. This deck is flexible, allowing you to try and outdamage your opponent or outbuff him. Good luck and thank you for watching. This is Beanie and I hope this helped you out.